Welcome back to the channel, everybody. The Green Bay Packers got a big win over their rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, 38-10. Absolutely love that score. Packers beat the dog shit out of the 49ers, although they weren't perfect by no stretch of the imagination. But, especially because San Francisco came into the game super injury prone, not having their starting quarterback, Brock Purdy, who's I think is pretty good quarterback, and not having their best defensive player, arguably their best player in Nick Bosa, one of the best pass rushers in all of the league. He's top 5 in sacks. Just a freak of nature player. And then also not having one of the best left tackles in the game, and Trent Williams. That was pretty big for them not having him. So it was just a tough situation for San Francisco, but it means absolutely nothing to Green Bay because they had to absolutely come in and beat the dog shit out of the 49ers, and that's what they did, thankfully. Once again, was not perfect by any stretch. In fact, we'll start off with the quarterback, Jordan Love, who went 13 for 23, 163 yards passing. He did have 2 touchdowns, which we'll talk about that in a second. But the big key was he had 0 interceptions today. His first game all year where he didn't have an interception. Yes, you heard that right. Every single game he's had an interception up until this point, up until today. So that's definitely a positive. Now, were there probably 2 or 3 balls in this game that should have absolutely been intercepted? Yes. And to that I say, I think this is one of Jordan Love's poorest performance in his career. I was listening right before this to Matt LaFleur's press conference afterwards, and he said that Jordan laid a few balls in like the perfect spot all game long, but I just beg to differ. In fact, it was very frustrating that he had so many throws that should have been intercepted, in my opinion. And also, there was, again, no quarterback's perfect, but there were so many that were, getting thrown behind. Like, I think of the one with Romeo Doubs where I think it should have been a catch still, but just, man, he just throwing behind, throwing into double coverage. I think of the one to Christian Watson earlier, and I just think it was not a great performance on Love's part at all. In fact, this performance made me more worried going into this Thanksgiving game against the Miami Dolphins, who are currently surging right now. But, the box score had it where Jordan Love was 107 quarterback pass rating, which is pretty good. But if you would have told me going into this game that Love would have 13 completions on 23 attempts, 163 yards passing, I would have said we probably got our ass kicked. To that note, the man who saved this game for us and fucking laid it all out on the line, Josh Jacobs, 26 carries, 160 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day, 3 tied his career high for rushing touchdowns in a game. He had a 4.1 average too. That's going to pay dividend when you're going against these defenses. And to go along with that, you have Emmanuel Wilson, who had 9 carries, 41 yards with a 4.6 average. Green Bay Packers top 5 in rushing in the league. They continue to show that they are very dominant in this run game. And it's gonna be huge because, like I said, seeing the 13 completions on 23 attempts for Jordan Love, I thought we'd lose that game, but it's because they gave the ball to Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. Josh Jacobs is just such a dog, man. I mentioned before I had my suspicions going into this year about Josh Jacobs, down year prior to that 2021 career year. But he's showing that he is still one of the best backs in the league. I'd say top 5. I think he's number 3 at rushing currently. So Josh Jacobs, he's a different skill set back than Green Bay's ever had. And just he's been these last 2-3 games, he has been fucking on fire. So Josh Jacobs, thank you. Moving along to the receiving stats, Romeo Doubs had 3 catches for 54 yards. I think of a couple of those were, had great catches and big plays on, to start the game. Unfortunately, he had to leave the game in the second half due to a concussion, and he was ruled out almost immediately, which puts in jeopardy if he's going to be even able to play this coming Thursday, because he's got to go through the whole concussion protocol, which I think takes, depending on the severity, it takes like, the full 5 days to just figure it out. But since Packers play this upcoming Thursday, it might be tough to see him suit up, against the Dolphins. So Tucker Kraft had a big day, 2 catches, 26 yards, and 1 touchdown. That first touchdown that Jordan Love threw was a nice tight end screen. Matt just had a great drive to just giving the ball to Jacobs, and then he finished it off with a nice throw. He made it to where Jordan Love didn't have to throw like a crazy ball into a tight situation in the red zone, because Green Bay came in, if not dead last, one of the bottom 5 in red zone efficiency. They've just been struggling once they get to that 20-yard line to get into the end zone. And a lot of it's due to pre-snap penalties, but thankfully today he's 4 for 4 on the day and 4 touchdowns in the red zone. So that was a nice positive to see from this offense. Finish off the receiver stats, Jaden Reed, 3 catches, 26 yards. Dontavian Wicks, nice to see him catch a ball today. He had 1 for 25 yards. Christian Watson, coming off of a career high in receiving yards last week. I think it was 4 catches for 150 yards. He had 0 catches today and 1 carry for 4 yards. Now, to that effect, Jordan Love, I've complained all year that his accuracy I don't think is that great, but the one throw right before the half that he threw to Christian Watson, it was a beautiful, beautiful ball. It was perfect. You couldn't throw it any better. And I swear that's like the ultimate kryptonite this year. Jordan Love won't throw accurate passes, but then when he does, he throws a beautiful ball. The wide receivers always fucking drop it. And it was Christian Watson was wide open. If he would have caught that, he would have walked in for a touchdown. It was like 45 yard pass attempt too. Just dropped it. So frustrating to see. You like to see him do better in those type of situations. He struggled with drops last year, not so much this year, but tough day. That would have been nice to see him get in. To get that 45-10 win would have been really nice, but just wasn't meant to be. Malik Heath. Yes, first time I talked about Malik Heath this year, I believe. He had 2 catches today for 15 yards and a touchdown. That last one that was so nice to see. Romeo Doubs is ruled out for the game. Malik Heath comes in, and Jordan Love throws, they're at the goal line, at the 5-yard line, and Jordan Love throws a beautiful fade route into the end zone. Malik Heath went up, beautiful ball, beautiful catch. That was a nice ass positive that I saw. That kind of finished the game, because to be honest, Packers were winning, and they won pretty convincingly, but I didn't feel like the greatest win. And yeah, it's maybe weird to say, your team won 38-10, but you want to see the positives, and you just want to see the positives in these big wins. And it just didn't feel like there was a bunch of them offensively, but that last pass to Malik Heath, that was absolutely beautiful. So that's a positive there. Moving on to the defense, though, after three games without a turnover, the Packers finally got back to the win column. Brandon Allen, the quarterback for the 49ers that stepped into the game for Brock Purdy, he threw an interception today to guess who? Xavier fucking McKinney. Yes, Xavier McKinney got another interception this year, which brings his total to 7. And I believe that's currently tied or leading the league in interceptions. What can I say? It's one of the best free agent signings of all time when it comes to the Packers. You know, you think of the Reggie Whites, the Charles Woodsons, and now you can definitely put Xavier McKinney to that list. 7th interception today. Unfucking believable. The other 2 turnovers were on fumbles. It was a great day. You know, prior to this week, there was a lot of talk of, man, these first-round picks by Brian Gutekunst have not lived up to par at all. You know, you got Jordan Morgan, last year's first-round pick, who's currently on IR, so you won't see him for the next 3-4 games at least. You got Devontae Wyatt, who's kind of had a down year, you know, very subpar to say the least. You got Quay Walker, who is, prior to this game, was one of, a lot of people were screaming for him to get benched and no more of the green dot, and just having a very, very, very poor season. And then you got Lucas Van Ness from a couple years ago, who's been showed no signs of getting any pass rush on the defensive line. But you know what? And I'm going to go through them right now, but it was nice to see those first-round picks actually played fucking great today. Quay Walker had a great game. He led the team in tackles, 7 total, with 6 solo and a couple tackles for loss. In my opinion, he should have had a sack, but it was credited to Rashawn Gary. But they sent him, Jeff Hafley sent him on a nice blitz, and that was nice to see. Rather than Quay Walker like playing in the middle, as you know, playing zone or whatever, they send him on a blitz, what he was good at coming out of Georgia. It was nice to see him put in a better situation on this defense, and it was nice to see him just play well today. You know, he did have a easy interception that he dropped, which was just, I wanted that so bad for him. It was a clear interception that he just dropped, and yes, that's why he's a linebacker and not a receiver. But so you can't be super hard on him, but man, we need those plays, especially when, you know, these next few weeks and of course the playoffs. We need our guys to get turnovers, as many as possible. But to go along with that, Lucas Van Ness, the first round pick from 2 years ago, he had a punch out on the quarterback today. He stripped the ball. That was really cool to see. He didn't really do it through like awesome technique. He kind of just like bull rushed his way and headbutted the ball, and thankfully Kenny Clark recovered the ball. But nonetheless, you got to give credit to LVN. He had a nice day, and was credited for a strip sack there. So nice to see that for LVN. Hopefully that sparks positive stuff going forward for him. Javon Bullard, a second-round pick this year, he also had 7 total tackles this year with 6 solo, with a team high in tackles today. And then shout out to Keyshawn Nixon. He had a peanut punch out on Christian fucking McCaffrey, who was held in check all game long, 11 carries, 31 yards. Man, I would not have believed you at all if you told me the Packers would hold McCaffrey to 11 carries, 31 yards, and a punch-out fumble by Keyshawn Nixon, recovered by Carl Brooks nonetheless, who is just another great player of himself. So this defense came to play today. Was not perfect. They could still 1,000% be better, but going against a team like the 49ers, who are down and out today, you have to get those wins no matter what. And you didn't have Jair today, so you had Valentine. Stokes, I saw, was in there, which, man, I can't see Stokes. That's the one first-round pick that still is just not playing well. So you can't let Stokes play anymore. Just let anybody. Valentine play. Send up Kalen King. Whatever you got to do. No more Eric Stokes. That experiment is over. But Corners I thought played well, Nixon and Valentine. And then Evan Williams, Bullard, McKinney doing their things at safety in the slot. Deebo Samuel for the 49ers had a horrible game. He had like 2 or 3 clear drops today, and it wasn't even because they were bad throws. Brandon Allen threw them. He kind of cooked today, but Deebo just dropped everything today. He only had 1 catch for 21 yards all game, and you take that every fucking time as a Packers fan, because Deebo Samuel is a freak of nature in this league, and to hold him to 1 catch and McCaffrey only 31 yards rushing and a fumble, oh my gosh, like 49ers were already down and out, so you basically just had to stop McCaffrey, Deebo, and Kittle. Kittle went off today, 6 catches, 82 yards and a touchdown. But you know what I say to fucking George Kittle? Go, Pack, go the fuck home to fucking San Francisco. Fuck him. Yeah, anyways, San Francisco 49ers, they had 9 penalties today, 77 yards. They were horrible today penalty-wise on the special teams. And that ultimately, there was like a little spark, right before the half to see the 49ers get something going, but penalty just killed them today. So that was good on the Packers end. And want to give credit to Brandon McManus, the kicker, who made a 51-yard kick today. Can't take any of those for granted anymore. You don't have Mason Crosby. You've had horrible kicking for the last 2 years. So just wanted to give a shout out to Brandon McManus for making a 51-yard kick today. And it was just a great game by the Packers. They held the 49ers to 3 for 10 on 3rd down, while the Packers went 6 for 13 on 3rd down. So good for them. And Packers got 22 first downs compared to San Francisco's 11. They had to beat the 49ers. They lost to them. The Packers lost to them last year and ended their season because of the 49ers, and it was so nice to see us finally beat them and kick their ass. And albeit without their players, but you know what? Those guys play for money too. And you see teams like the Baltimore Ravens, who lost to the Browns, the Browns beating the Steelers the other day. Nothing's a given in this league. I mean, Minnesota almost blew it to the Bears today. It's nothing's a guarantee in this league. And yes, everybody could say they were out. Their 3 best players, but you know what? That's when the great teams come in and kick their fucking asses and kick their teeth in. And thankfully, that's what Green Bay did today. Would I like to see them do that more? Was it like the first time Green Bay's ever done it? Yes, probably. But they win today, and I believe the New York simulator has it as the Packers have a 94% chance to make it to the playoffs now, which is nice. Far going that they lose every game going forward. They should be in the playoffs, but even at 8-3, Packers are still 3rd in the division behind Minnesota and Detroit. Detroit has won 9 in a row now at 10-1 for the year, and Minnesota, like I mentioned, beating the Bears in overtime, and they're 8-2 or 9-2, I believe now. So Packers at 8-3, still 3rd in the division, but we're just focusing right now, game by game, getting into the playoffs, and now they got a short week going against Miami, who is, like I said, a surging team. Ever since Tua came back, they've been playing so much better. Jayden Waddle had a great game today. So, Thanksgiving game, nighttime. It's gonna be really, really fun, and hopefully it's not too frustrating of a game this Thursday. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like in the video and leave a comment of what's your favorite turkey dish. If you're a turkey person, if you're a ham person, or what's your favorite side piece for this upcoming Thanksgiving. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And just thank you guys. very blessed to be able to do these type of videos. Love doing them. So until next time, until this Thursday is when I'll see you next. So appreciate you guys, and hope you guys have a great night, and go Pack Go.